Hello guys, what is going on? I'm Nozda and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be taking you through my MCM Manchester Comic Con experience for the day of Saturday in 2018. It is currently 20 past 5 in the morning. Let me just have a look at my phone. It's currently 5:15. You can already probably see a bit of the cosplay. I'm in my full uniform. I've not put on the wig yet, obviously. I'm playing Ida from My Hero Academia, and I've woken up this early because my method in order to do the engine legs is to use some makeup slash prosthetic glue. So I thought I'd wake up and give it an hour. I'm setting up around 6:30 and give it an hour just to settle and rest without much movement, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm also planning on taking and maybe even using before we go some sellotape. And I know that won't be great on my legs because I've got hairy legs if you didn't know. Well, that's the plan anyway. So yeah, these are the legs in question. It is some PVC piping that's been cut up roughly by a saw, and the saw's there, sanded down, and then used some painter's touch. I got it from B&Q. You can probably get it from any craft store or B&Q in the UK or in the US as well. And this is the glue that I'll be using. It is also known as spirit gum. It is apparently skin friendly. I put it on last night. I tried one of the legs on, one of the exhaust pipes, and it seemed to work out pretty well. They're dry now because my dad did this actually about 2 days ago. So I'm now going to go through the process of actually sticking them on my legs. Right, okay, the first leg is on. As you can see, some of the outsides of all of them have been taped up. This is because I didn't anticipate the sort of structure of my calves, pretty much. They're very curved, so when the glue was drying, what would happen is, because the cut was so straight on the PVC, the one half would just naturally not be touching my leg, and so the glue would be drying just not on my leg, and it was making the glue less sticky as it goes on, obviously, because it's not actually sticking to anything, just like being in the air, which isn't good. So this tape hopefully isn't permanent. I mean, to be honest, it's barely visible, honestly, from like 5 meters or something. If someone's watching me as they walk past, he will not notice the sellotape on the legs. So they might stay on, but right now it's just so the glue will dry in the right place. At this point I started running super late, and we actually didn't end up setting off until 10 to 7, a full 20 minutes later than I wanted to, and I wasn't happy with the right leg, and you'll see why in a second.
I wish it was a 2. It came off. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you gotta dub this later.
Yeah, what? Probably.
I'm gonna do an abridged series.
Shortly after this, the line ended up moving quite quickly, and we made it into the con within 20 to 30 minutes. The first thing I wanted to do was go and check the signing area to see if any of the people in which I wanted to get signatures from would be there. Turns out they wasn't, so I went to next on the agenda, which should have been first, honestly. I went to Tomska and got an Art is Dead book signed by him.
Right, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Even though I just gave back the last week post the last.
No, it's fine. I'm only incredibly hurt, so.
Yeah, it's like the longest series I ever watched.
Yeah, I mean, it is like a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that is many hours of content.
Yeah.
Which is just more than I don't need to.
So yeah, basically meeting him was one of the best, if not the best meetings I've ever had with a celebrity. I would say if you ever see him at Manchester Comic Con, definitely go. He is
incredible. The only problem is that he spends as much time as he did with me with everyone else, and because he's not recognized as a proper celebrity in which to do have like a signing booth, the line literally just snakes around all of Comic-Con, and it was kind of ridiculous when I was there. But I got in there first, so I have no right to complain.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't do that with someone. Pretend that didn't happen. That was a sound replacement. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, good.
Great. I apologize for everything. Nice meeting you. Cool.
All right. See you later.
See you around.
See ya.
All right.
Hang on over it.
That was the best experience of my life.
I think we were the first people.
Yeah, right. Everything will pale in comparison now.
And that it did. Apart from walking around the main floor for about an hour total, the vast majority of my time was spent inside the signing hall, which wasn't properly air conditioned, which had a shit ton of people all the time. The lines were managed pretty horribly. There was a wall that divided the entire floor, and the reason it was there was to have some little stalls on the other side, which no one was at. If the walls were just completely gone, the line could have been more spread out. People wouldn't have to be touching shoulder to shoulder, which pretty much they were the entire time. They were being constantly squeezed. And I feel like also the signers, the people that were there, would have had less pressure to rush some of the signings. Some of the signings that I had felt pretty rushed. Also, just a quick thing, at this point in the day, I had pretty much shred my entire cosplay. This was about 4 hours into the con. By that point, my complete well, not my complete left leg, about like 2 or 3 of the 6 tubes had started to fall off. 2 of them were down to someone behind me in the Diva queue, who just bumped into me pretty harshly, actually, and ripped 2 of them off, which was pretty painful considering I was using sellotape. But at that point, I just decided, you know, what is the point? I was pretty much one leg eater for the whole day, but to go no leg eater, it didn't really make sense.
Please nerf.
Diva was very good. She said nerf this, and she signed it nerf this.
Did you ask her to?
She started saying nerf this.
Yeah.
No. She did. I can't remember the voice line she did at the beginning, but yeah, she was very Diva.
Did you tell everyone she was one of your 5 mains?
I didn't tell her. No. Oh, Genji was the only one that asked whether I played Genji.
I
didn't ask whether I played Genji.
Did you shut him down and say no? It's disgusting.
I played Reinhardt. I said I barely play Genji. It's too difficult.
Play Genji. That's
well,
like I
he was really sad, but he wasn't moving the conversation along. So I said, I really like the cinematic though. And he said, yeah, best one, got most views. And I said, yeah. Diva was the only one as well that wasn't bothered by me not wanting my name on it.
I don't understand why. I mean, I do sort of understand why they have a problem with it, but at the end of the day,
well, Genji was the only one that he was like, don't sell it, and I was like, okay. But Mercy would just ask like, why? And I said, because all my others don't have my name on it, so I want this one. And she went, oh, okay. And Diva was just like, okay.
Hello guys, so I am now just using my webcam at home to show off the signings actually. Okay, I want to show you the signings because I feel like that's something that people be interested in. I would, anyway. But first of all, we're going to talk about the big dafty in the room. We're going to talk about Diva. Now, this pop, I mean, just look at the personality that was signed in there. She used catchphrases. She was incredibly in character when she met me and when she met a bunch of other people as well. She was very loud, she was very enthusiastic, and she seemed to be a ball of energy, and she needed to be. Her line was enormous and it was never shrinking. People were getting in it all the time. She would probably take a break when they went to do the photo shoot in 3 p.m. and they came in at 11. So that's 4 hours of being it's super intense. So I really appreciate what she did, and just to give that much of an effort to every single person. By far, probably the most effort I saw from anybody at the con. Not my most favorite meeting, obviously, because we're going to get onto that in a minute. But she's obviously the second best meeting, I think. Just because it's just like, I don't know. She was probably the most fake person there, but she definitely put on a show, and that I can appreciate it. We also got a seal of authenticity, which is personal by her. She talked about like people trying to forge her signature all the time, so that was her choice to do. So I appreciate that as well. That was completely free. Usually I have to pay for authenticity, and sort of contradictory to this, she was very okay with me not wanting my name on it. I don't know. She seemed to be okay with people potentially selling her stuff, which was a bit weird. I've never actually seen the attitude towards people like giving a free certificate of authentication, essentially, and also being completely fine, not even asking questions about not having a name on the window. You know, that was a very weird sort of attitude towards it. But I'm completely fine with it. I mean, I wish more people were like that. But moving on to Genji. Now, Genji was probably the most real out of the three Overwatch voice actors that I got signed. And it was kind of weird because he seemed to take everything personal. Like, he asked me, I don't think he was acting, honestly. He asked me, who do I main Genji? I said, no, I mean Reinhardt. And he said, why don't you play Genji? I said, I'm not really good as him. I don't really want to. And like, obviously he could have been playing along, like being upset, but he didn't push forward the conversation. He just dwelled on it, and so it was a good like 5 seconds, felt like an eternity. And then I said, "Oh, the cinematics were really good though. They're my favorite. They're not my favorite, but they're close to my favorite." So I was just told that little white lies to get the conversation going again. And then he was all happy. But yeah, he really admired my Figma. He said he ordered one. Oh, he said he's been trying to order one for a while now. And I said I use a Japanese website. I actually completely forgot what the Japanese website is called. But it took me a couple of months to get it here. And I had to order it ages away because I was like, that Genji pop that's coming out, that isn't out at the moment, that's why I'm using the Figma to get it signed, isn't coming out till October. So it's coming out soon. They've done the designs, they got it ready to be shipped soon, but not now. So that's sad. But yeah, so that is Genji's signature. It was really cool to meet him. His signature crossed with also just the way he interacted with people. His line, people-wise, were probably the shortest, but it was the longest because of how much time he spent with people. He spent with me a good 2 minutes. And when there is 200, 300 plus people that are going to meet you, that's a lot of time to spend with just one person. And finally, we have Mercy, probably the least memorable person. She spent next to no time with anybody at all. She probably had the same amount of people as Genji, but she just got through them super quickly. With me, she was kind of cold and a bit off. The only thing that she really inquired about, or even like conversed with me with, was me not having my name signed on the window. She said, "Oh, why is that?" And I just said, like, literally every other signature I have, I don't have my name on it. And then she was like, "Oh, okay." And then that was it. The conversation and the whole interaction was done within 20 seconds, which I'm happy with because that was kind of similar with everyone else in front of me. So that's why I got through that line so quickly. But at the same time, I feel like I'm going to look at this pop in the future and not oh shit, this lighting. I'm going to look at this pop in the future and not really remember anything fondly. Speaking of that, though, I'm now going to talk about Tomska again. I've been going on about him quite a lot in this video, but seriously, I've never experienced something so... I just never felt like I'm going to remember that for such a long time. And at the same time, I've also felt this is the first signature I've ever got. Diva is kind of up there just because of the show that she put on, and it was kind of amazing just witnessing it. This is the first piece of whatever that I've got signed where I'm going to look at it, and every time I look at it, I'm going to smile. And just remember the conversation I had with him. Because, like, Overwatch actors, I have been wanting to meet for 2 years. Tomska, I've been wanting to meet for 10 years. And it's just that extra bit. And also, he's just so much more personal. Like, we know the Overwatch characters, we don't know them. While with Tomska, because of his last week vlog, we know him. And getting to meet him was just so, so cool. Here's his signature, by the way. And, yeah, so, like... If you ever see him at a convention and you've watched his videos, even if you haven't watched all his videos, even if you don't have a connection like I did with him, well, like with his content, should I say, you know, definitely go and meet him. Because even though his lines are incredibly long, when you do meet him, you get attention, you get time, and you get a free hug. So that's nice. But yeah, there's not really much else to talk about in this video. That's kind of it. The only other footage I've got left is just us just walking around the con. And then going home. I would like to say thank you. If anybody is watching this that saw me and I said hi, or that you said hi to me, or you got a picture of me, then make sure to comment down below. I will have my Twitter link in the description, so if you've still got those pictures, then make sure to send them to me on Twitter. I would really appreciate it, because anybody who took a picture of me, I'm really grateful, because that was my first time doing a more serious cosplay. Like, I put money and I put time and energy into it. And even though it didn't turn out great for like a couple of hours when the costume was still intact, people seemed to really enjoy it. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all good stuff. I've been Nozda, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.